Hello everybody, my name is Septa, and today I'm going to be platinuming Robocop Rogue City, which this game is my first real return to platinum trophies, besides Garden Warfare 1, which I did in my free time. Yes, you recently got the High on Light video, but that was recorded back in February. These platinums are way more recent, and I'm very excited to be getting back into platinums. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. We start out the game with the news anchor being held at gunpoint by one of the head leaders of one of the gangs in the game. Basically, they're trying to contact this new guy who's come to Detroit, which is the city Robocop takes place in, by the way, and they're trying to push their drug nuke to everyone. The first chunk of gameplay we get is when Robocop slowly strolls into the news station so that he can, save everyone. Now, my only complaint about this game is how slow I am, and I mean, I'm a robot, so it makes sense, but that's about my only complaint with the game. The combat is amazing, as you'll see in a second. I don't know, I love it. And at the start, I'm very bad. I get better, I promise, but, I suck. But we get our first trophy, Zip This Up, for shooting an enemy in the penis, and I love the game for that one reason, because that's the first trophy I got, and one of my first impressions of the game. As we continue through the news station, I pick up another trophy after throwing TV at gangsters and get the trophy Strikeout. A little bit further, we get another trophy, Nukem, for blowing up 3 enemies with 1 explosive, which is very easy. These are just miscellaneous trophies that I got in the first mission, so it saved a lot of work. The first actual story point is when Robocop gets blown up and, malfunctions and gets damaged. Basically in the game, there's a lot of malfunctions, and that's kind of where the story of Robocop comes in. But the first one isn't very bad. It gets we trip balls later. But we start out with just being damaged, which will come into a bigger effect in just a moment. And it really only just takes a moment for the effect to really start kicking in, because the gangster here holds a woman to gunpoint, but because we're malfunctioning and damaged, I start hallucinating my wife, and it's just weird to start out off the bat, because I haven't seen any of the movies, so I don't understand any of the story at this point. But yeah, also, one thing I want to note, it looks like the audio's out of sync, but it's not. Their lips just don't really sync up with what they're saying in this game, which I guess I only really have a few complaints, but that is one of them, because it's kind of unimmersive. But eventually, my partner, Lewis, she comes in clutch and blasts him in the face, so I'll just let you see. We then get a title card, which I love this game's title card. I think it's beautiful and it looks good. And we get a trophy here. Night has just begun for completing the breaking news quest, the first quest in the game. And we also get introduced to a system in this game known as the analysis system. After our little mishap, they want to basically track my performance, which this is needed for a different trophy where I need to get A rank. Basically, you increase this by just doing optional objectives and other stuff. And we get to see Alex Murphy's beautiful face in this, and it's not very beautiful, but we get to see his face. Now, before they send us back out, they want me to do some target practice to prove that I'm still, operational and an effective cop. And we actually pick up 3 trophies here. The first one is for getting 150 points, which this is mainly where I built my skill, but we get dead on for, once again, 150 points. And then we get another trophy for 200 points, and a final one for 250 points. This is where all my aim in this game came, but there's 3 trophies and a fun mission. Next, we get dropped into downtown, which is kind of like the free roam area of this game, but you can only go here during certain missions. There's a lot of trophies in these areas, and this is the only real missables. The first one I started going for was here, where I need to help these guys in the side quest to track down a murder. And while I was doing this, I found a car with an oil spill, and I issued them a ticket, which I mean, it's a trophy, and I guess we actually get to do some police work, which I thought was kind of funny. After talking to a bunch of people and finding a bunch of clues around downtown, we find out that the actor at the ad, like they're doing an ad, is the murderer. And, well, we take him to prison, and we get a nice trophy for doing this. I recommend if you're going for the platinum to get this as soon as possible, but there is hard. Back to the actual story, we need to find the leader of the gang that was, causing problems earlier, and he's holed up in an arcade, and we get to do these sick breaches, by the way, in the game, which perfectly shown here. And honestly, this mission I very much liked because I love killing bad guys. There are also 2 trophies here, one of which is to find a secret area, which you just have to get a bunch of clues for, and that's no stone unturned. Then, inside of the secret area, we get an OCP training disc, and I'd buy that for $1 to get a skill disc. After searching for Suit, we find him in Suit's final encore, where we get to crash the gang's party and destroy Suit's guitar collection to figure out where our partner Lewis is and the new guy in town, who's the guy he was trying to contact with the news broadcast, by the way. And we also meet the new guy in town in his infamous lighter.
Something wrong.
And Murphy starts glitching again, but this time Lewis, our partner, is held at gunpoint. And the new guy at town, spoiler alert, because I can't show it because it was too graphic, he shoots Soot in the head. He kills him. But it gets more intense because since Murphy's glitching out, I can't protect Lewis. And the new guy in town, he said his brother was one of the guys that Alex Murphy arrested in the past, so he has a score he wants to settle, and he does it here.
Fuck you, scumbag!
Lewis!
And after that traumatic experience, we get the Dead or Alive trophy for completing Suit's final encore.
Switching back up.
Because during this mission I decided to do a bunch of optional stuff, I got the A tier evaluation, meaning I got a trophy that it's like one of the biggest grinds in the platinum to get. But I got it, so there's Officer of the Month. After this, we unlock a new mechanic, which is gun modding, and after doing our first one, we get a trophy, and honestly, I didn't use this too much, and I just kept the default one, so in gameplay matters, it doesn't really matter what you use, but it's up to personal preference. Now, time for my favorite gang of all. It's the Biker Gang. Once again, don't remember their name. Their names are just so weird in this game, but their whole shtick is they're just bikers, and one trophy you can get, which I got on my first encounter with them, is for shooting a bike's gas can while it's moving, or not gas can, sorry, gas tank, which is there, and we get live by the bike. A little bit down the road in the same mission, we need to find a secret area, which is started by making the train move. Then, after you climb up the ladder and go across this little platform and find a container that has a chip inside, and you get the trophy Good Eyes Murphy for finding it. At the end of the mission, we get to our first boss fight, EV-209, who actually makes a return later, but this is obviously the easiest boss since it's the first. All you really do is spam your gun, which I made automatic with the OCP disc, and you just throw explosives at him until he dies. After a couple deaths, which I actually got my first death here, I finally killed him, which was very annoying. This is my least favorite boss in the game, and he squeals like a little pig as he dies, and I think that part's kind of humorous. But we kill him, and Robocop's just nonchalant like always. And after completing that very long mission, we get 20 seconds to comply for completing the Street Vultures Turf Quest, which is the name of the gang. After all this, I amassed enough XP to max out my engineering skill, which grants me a trophy, as you'll see in a second. Very much recommend maxing out engineering for a trophy later, but here we get practice makes perfect for maxing out a skill. The next important thing happens when an OCP bank, which, by the way, is like the creators of Robocop, they're the big guys in charge, big corporation, and their bank is robbed by the Street Vultures. This mission was so bomb. I loved it. There's so much combat. There's so much. Oh, by the way, the robots are nice this time. But there's so much combat. It's fun. As you'll see in a little bit, we get to defuse a bomb, which is strapped to someone's chest. This mission just one of my favorites, if not my favorite. Here's the bomb part I was talking to you about. This one's easy. There's a bomb that comes later that is just way worse. It's terrible. But this one was fun. I always love these little bomb defusal quests in games. So, yeah. And after defusing the bomb, killing some more enemies, and saving everyone in the bank, we get the trophy Don't Mess with the Money for completing the bank heist quest. As we're looking for the new guy in town, we get hit by a car, which causes Robocop to malfunction again. This time it's way more severe, and this is when we start tripping balls, because there's many different, like, little glitches that happen. And this part of the game was funny to me, because I played it when I was completely out of it. It was super late at night. So it was just weird to me. Like, there's an infinite hallway section where you listen to your family talk to you. Like, obviously, normally, when you're tracking Wendell, this was fine. But, once again, I was on, like, 2 hours of sleep late at night. So this was, like, creeping me out. But, I don't know, I love this mission, too. As every good game does, there's a haunted mannequin part, which heavily reminded me of Cold War. And there's my wife yelling at me as there's infinite doorways, which just amazing, reminded me of Stanley Parable. Then my police team turns on me, but it's just in my mind, so I get to slime out the police chief, but not really, once again, because it's just in my mind, because they're evil. I even go to my old home where I listen to my wife talk to me and my child. Very dramatic, because I just listen to Alex Murphy's old life, feel bad, because they're all dead, I think, at least. Until finally Robocop faces himself, or at least an old version of himself. Told you, dude, we trip balls in this mission. It's just great. And we even kill ourselves. I shot myself in the head. But finally, after that trip, we find Wendell, and we arrest him, and everything's good. Very heroic moment for Robocop. You know, I'm sure nothing bad will happen later.
You have the right to an attorney.
I wanted to help you, release you from the burden of your past life, of your memories, but you don't want to.
And after that trip and capturing Wendell, we get the trophy Book Him for completing the Ghosts from the Past quest. I feel like a bunch of games have that name. Then we meet a guy named the Old Man, who is the guy who created Robocop. He's very underutilized in the story for like actual screen time, but he is by far the most important character besides Robocop himself. After a few missions, my least favorite character, and objectively the worst character in the game, I don't even remember his name, that's how much I hate him. But he uses us as an example to show an executive at OCP the power of his robot invention, but they're really not powerful at all. But there is a missable trophy here to kill all of them in under 10 minutes. And fun fact for any Fallout fans, they're voiced by the Protectron. Oh my god. They're voiced by the Protectron from Fallout, which I love. It was great. But this is kind of a boss fight, but not really. So I'm showing you my methods. It's really just spray and pray on all the robots. Very, very easy. Very fun. I really like this boss fight. But yeah, we get a trophy out of it. The executive guy actually likes Robocop more than the other dude, so he basically just glazes us, and we get a trophy here, but I didn't record far enough for it. Then we go visit Wendell, you know, because obviously nothing was going to happen after we arrested him. And, well, he starts a prison riot, and has another very fun mission where we just go around basically just clearing enemies out of the prison. Another, once again, one of my favorite missions, because you just get to kill people, and it's great. This game's combat is amazing. He does hire goons to fight us, and they're heavily armored and the worst enemies of the game. It's the only thing I don't like about this mission, is that after you have to fight these guys, they're just the worst, especially the fully armored ones. After fighting through the prison, we find Wendell back on the roof, and the game doesn't tell you this yet, but I kind of inferred from the fact that every time he'd use his lighter, I'd start tweaking, that his lighter was the reason that I was tweaking, and he just basically just spams it in our face to gloat, and then leaves on a helicopter, like he always does. It's always a helicopter. And after this mission, we get the Let's Talk trophy for completing Wendell's confession.
Try.
Next, we go talk to our therapist, who I didn't really talk about, but basically she helps us throughout the whole game. And right now she's giving us information about where to track the leader of the biker gang from earlier. But Wendell tries to slime her. He hires some goons, and in a very conspicuous way, they try to kill her, which I think is funny because the game's pretty cheesy. It's meant to be like that, but I just think it's funny how he asks for a signature at the door. Wendell's goons actually end up setting the hotel on fire, so I get to save people, and we get a trophy from this, an optional trophy, which I love. It's my favorite trophy in the whole game. We open up a door and save a kitty and get a real hero, the trophy for saving a cat from a burning hotel. And it's just great. I mean, we're real cops. After that mess, we go into the best mission in the game, the election night riots. It's just great. It's every single gang that we've met so far terrorizing downtown Detroit. And we just get to kill. It's literally, there's a bunch of missions all together, including the first boss, the robot. He comes back, we get to fight him again. But we just get to kill so many people, and it's just amazing. I love this mission so much. During one of the prior missions, we go into the sewers of Detroit and hack a turret to get maybe used against you to hack a turret. And after this, we get another trophy for doing this mission, which was very boring. I didn't really know what to say about it because you kind of just enter OCP headquarters, find out that the old man from earlier died, so now, you know, the big forehead man is in charge, which is bad for us. But for some reason, we get a trophy cashing out from doing this mission, and the mission is titled The Man Himself. A few missions later, we get to one of the best missions where basically Wendell has caused chaos in the city, especially after all the riots, and he's turned a construction site into like a lawless city where they're just all focused about strippers, which I thought was funny. But he has like hundreds of his goons. I'm talking, they got explosive snipers. This is another combat heavy mission, and I love it. As I said, this mission is very combat focused, which, I mean, it's great because you're just fighting through a construction site and fighting through tons of enemies. Now, I do want to give a warning. I'm showing like a bunch of cutscenes up ahead, so if you don't want to see them, just skip a few minutes ahead, but it's so poetic the way that this mission goes, so I'll just let you watch it. But I guess before you skip, a brief summary is that Wendell's funding cuts, so they abandon him, and then him and Robocop fight. But I'll let you watch how it ends. So enjoy.
The money transfer didn't go through. We will settle this. Have your machines fight your battles for you. We don't work for free. No hard feelings, Robocop, just business.
I have bigger fish to fry.
You ungrateful fucks! You closed the door on the most ambitious project in this goddamn city!
Surrender, or there will be trouble.
I still have an army that will fight no matter what. So, Robocop, prepare to meet your demise!
Now there is trouble.
This isn't over!
Where else to go, Wendell Antonowski?
That's not even my real name. OCP gave me that identity. They knew evoking your past affects you. They wanted you emotional to better manipulate you. You keep sacrificing yourself, and that's admirable. But at some point you have to ask yourself, for what? For the city that wants to witness your downfall? Or for the company that keeps sabotaging you? Join me. Together we can hold OCP accountable.
I am only human.
Then why don't you die like one?
And we get not arresting you anymore for completing a No Way Out. Favorite mission because of his death. After that, only one mission remains, and the old man turns himself into a killer robot, which was just not what I was expecting the game to end. It feels kind of out of place, but the boss fight's fun. He slams us into the floor and, like, crashes down. And this boss fight, however, it doesn't make sense. Also, his scream. But it doesn't make sense, but it's very fun. Very difficult, in my opinion. I died a bunch of times. But it's just my favorite. It's so different than the other ones. But I just get destroyed my first time. Don't be like me. For the first stage, just run around in circles. And this is the cutscene going into the second stage. That's his new attack. Basically, when he does that, just shoot him in the, like, radiation symbol. But we get this very, very dramatic cutscene of us falling into the parking garage. It's just funny because it's too much. The strategy for the second phase of the boss is really just to throw explosives like the first boss and train him to where he does his little running attack you saw him do earlier. Just let him hit a pillar and then spam him in the back or the front while he's stunned, and you kill him pretty fast. This is a very easy stage. The third phase, though, it ramps up in difficulty. I mean, they give him homing missiles, which is BS. I died within like 5 seconds my first few attempts at the third stage, but the strategy is just to dodge the missiles with the press circle to dodge, and it's really just the same thing as the second phase. Throw explosives when they're there and make him hit a pillar and shoot him in the back. The automatic attachment that I got earlier is very useful for this boss fight, so I highly recommend it, as well as the other upgrades. Eventually, though, we beat him, and a piece of rubble collapses on him, as you can see, and we get a decision, and this majorly depends on the side endings we got and the main ending we get. And I just wanted to tell everyone, well, at this point I was done, so I killed him, but while he's killing him, I'll tell you that there's a lot of side characters and less important characters I left out, because this game's great. For a game I got for free off of the monthly PlayStation Plus games, it was great. Way more fun than I thought I was going to have. Thought it was going to be like low quality, but I love this game. So I recommend you play the story yourself. I don't know if I said this earlier, but the platinum only took me 10 hours. I think it was supposed to take 15, but it took me 10 hours. And I know I don't have the trophy counter up on this video, but at this point I only had 2 more trophies, so it was very, very good. After about 10 minutes of cutscenes I won't make you sit through, we get to the end of the game with a badass shot of Robocop being nonchalant as always, and we get the trophy. Nice shooting, son, for beating the main game. And as you could see by the 100%, we also get the trophy to serve and protect the Platinum Trophy. Before you leave, I'd just like to say thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and check out my other videos. At 1,000 subscribers, I'll be platinuming Red Dead Redemption 2. But have a nice day. I'll see you in the next one, and as always, peace.